Thanks to German Knife Shop for sponsoring Everyday Tactical Vids. German-knife-shop.com.
Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're doing a head-to-head between these two lights. We have the Thrunite T1 and the S1R Baton II from Olight. So I got the Thrunite T1 probably, a month, maybe a month and a half ago. The S1R Batons in general, and then the Baton II, I have used these guys consistently as an EDC light for, literally years at this point. From the original one that was not rechargeable to the rechargeable versions to the Baton II version. So I have a lot of experience with that light. The T1 has become a light that I really like as well, but I haven't had that nearly as long. But when I made the review of the T1, I said I think this is competition for the Baton series, the S1R. So I said, hey, let's do a head-to-head and see how they compare. So in my view, as far as what you get with the lights, it's pretty much a break even. So you're not going to get a sheath with these lights, but you're going to get a pocket clip, you're going to get some extra O-rings, and you're going to get your charging cord. Now, one of the things that makes the two lights different is that the T1 comes with your charging cord, it's micro USB, and the S1R Baton is a proprietary, but it does have the magnetic base, so basically that clicks in. Now this does have a magnetic base, but not for, clicking on the charging port. So that's going to be something that makes the two of them stand out differently right off the bat. So if you're a person who's like, I don't want anything proprietary, I lose stuff, I have plenty of micro USBs kicking around, then the Thrunite is going to win. If you don't like micro USBs or you prefer the magnetic base, then the Baton is going to win for that. One thing I will tell you is a little bit different is that this one, they both have a clip that you can actually put onto a hat, but this one you can move the clip around. So you can see where it's attached right there, and you can swing it around to a different side if you want to do that. With the S1R Baton II, you can see how it's basically cut out from there to there, so the clip is always going to stay on one side. For some people, they're going to be like, no, I want to adjust it. The good thing about this is that it's exactly opposite the button. So when you pick up the light and you feel that's where the clip is, you always know the button is going to be opposite that. Whereas with the Thrunite, when you pick it up, if this thing is opposite, like it is right now, then you're pretty much good. But if it spins around on the side, then it's obviously not going to be, where you want it to be as far as that's on one side and the button's on the other. Again, not a deal breaker, but just something for people to know about. Okay, let's start off here and talk about some of the details on the S1R Baton II. So at your lowest level, that's going to be 0.5 lumens. That's going to run for 8 days. Your next level up is 12 lumens for 20 hours, then 60 lumens for 3 hours and 40 minutes, then 600 lumens for 1.5 minutes, and it's going to drop down to 300 for 45 minutes, and then it's going to go up to 1,000 lumens, and that's going to run for 1.5 minutes, and then drop down to 300 lumens for 37 minutes. It is IPX8 rated, and its weight is 1.8 ounces. So your length for this one is 2.48 inches, your head diameter is 0.82 inches, and your body diameter is 0.82 inches. Your LED for this is a Cree XM-L2 Cool White LED. And that's a quick rundown of things. Let me actually put this on the scale right here on camera so we can see how much it weighs. And this is with the battery. Sometimes they do it without the battery, but you're never going to carry it without the battery. So 1.8 ounces for your weight. So one of the things that's kind of a standard feature for most flashlights that you see today is that you have the different output settings. So I hold it down, and it's going to come on at that very low setting, and then hold it, and it's going to cycle up to the higher settings and then go all the way back down. Usually when you double click, you're going to get that turbo setting, right? So it's pretty standard. You can, like I said before, you can recharge it, and then when it's fully charged, this should be running green. One thing that makes this different than the Thrunite is the Thrunite has the infinity cycle. So let's talk about that now. All right, the T1, let's give you some of the details here. Your LED is a Cree XHP50 LED. Your Firefly at the lowest level is 1 lumen. That's going to run for 14 days. Your infinity cycle starts with low at 15 lumens. That's going to be for 36 hours. At the high end, it's 685 lumens for 80 minutes. Your strobe is 700 lumens. That's going to run for 120 minutes. And then your turbo is 1500 lumens. That's going to run for 3 minutes, and that's going to drop down to 408 lumens for 80 minutes. They do note here that it is IPX8 rated, so that's good down to 2 meters. They don't have any information on their website about if it is drop resistant, so usually it's about 1 or 1.5 meters for that. All right, as far as operation, you're going to hold it down. It's going to come on at 1 lumen, and then you're going to turn it off. When you turn it on normally, it's going to come on at your low setting. That's 15 lumens. I'm going to hold it down. You're going to see it's going to flash, and then it's going to go up to the highest setting. Flash, it's going to start going back down to the lower setting. And you could stop anywhere you want in between. Let me show you turbo, so double click this. Here's your turbo output, and let me show you strobe, so strobe warning here. So there's your function, pretty simple. Click it to turn it on and then hold it down. It's going to cycle up and cycle down. I mean, that's one of the key differences I would say between your Baton and with this is that you have different limited settings at the Baton, whereas this one is the infinity cycle. Let me put these side by side so you can actually see here. I'm going to show you these side by side. When I put them too close, the magnets actually repel each other. So let me just hold them like this. You can see that the T1 is definitely a little bit bigger, basically just by that silver section. And then when you look at them head on, the T1 is definitely a little bit wider as well. So as far as, the overall fit and finish, this one's definitely, the knurling is a little bit more, I don't want to say aggressive, but it's got a little bit more texture. And this one is a little bit smoother here. That's what your bases look like. Show you the clips again. So yeah, I mean, bottom line for me right now is that they're both really solid lights. I've never put them head to head at night and, checked out the different lumen output, but they are both solid lights. I can tell you that this one feels a little bit heavier. So let's get the scale here. So again, T1 with a battery in it. So that's 2.5 ounces versus 1.8. So not a full ounce difference, but almost that. And yeah, that might make a difference to some people. So 2.5 versus 1.8. If the weight is a deal breaker for you, then you're going to want to go with the Baton. If you don't care and you want a higher lumen output, then maybe the Thrunite's the one for you. There's your rundown on the details. Let's take these out into the night and use them. Okay, we're outside now. Let's go through a comparison of the two lights. We're going to start with the Olight. This is at 0.5 lumens. And then the Thrunite, which is at 0.1 lumens. I'm going to readjust the camera and shine it at the wall here so you can see a side-by-side comparison. Alright, so shining at the wall, which is about probably 6 feet away from me, over on your left is 0.5, and then over on your right is 0.1 lumens. So once again, Olight 0.5, Thrunite 0.1. Okay, our next test is 12 lumens on the left, that's the Olight, and then 15 lumens on the right, that's the Thrunite. Okay, I've moved out by the fence now. We're going to have 12 lumens on the left, that's the Olight, and then 15 lumens on the right, that's the Thrunite. Obviously very, very close in the output there. Okay, I'm just going to show you the 60 lumen output with the Olight. Again, with the infinity cycle, you're going to go 15 all the way up to almost 600 with the Thrunite, but just so you can see what the 60 lumen output looks like on the Olight. So here's 60, shining at the fence. I'm about 15 feet away. Here's one quick look at the strobe from Thrunite, so strobe warning. Okay, the next test will be the Olight on the left at 600 and the Thrunite on the right at 685. I will say my initial thought comparing the two is that you've got a little bit more of a flood on the Thrunite and more of a hot center on the Olight. Okay, I'm looking at the woods. They're about 40 feet away. Let's compare the, again, 600 to 685. 600 on the left with the Olight, 685 on the right with the Thrunite. We're going up now to 1000 lumens on the left with the Olight and 1500 lumens on the right with the Thrunite. Okay, we're back here in the studio. You saw them at night in use. You know, when I do head-to-heads like these, people are often like, so who's the winner? And a lot of it depends on your preferences. What I'll tell you right now is that the size, I've gotten so used to the size of the S1R Baton II that I'm going to have to give the Thrunite a little bit more time to see if I don't mind that bigger size. Generally, I don't for an EDC light. I actually don't mind a larger EDC light. But I think like mentally, I'm like, well, it's going to be a tiny little thing in my pocket. When it feels like it's bigger than I expected, I'm kind of like, I don't know how I feel about that. So I got to give it some more time, honestly, and just see how much I like it. At this point, it doesn't like bother me, but I definitely sense a difference. Less the weight, more just the width of diameter, and that it's a little bit longer. So that's how I'm feeling right now. Overall, the infinity feature I really like on flashlights. I thought I didn't like that as much. But I do like it for an EDC light. If I want a tactical light, I want to hit that button and have a lot of output come on every time. And, you know, you've heard me say before, these tiny little buttons for a light I want to quickly deploy, this is kind of a hassle for me. I want to end pressure switch. That's a preference thing for me. But the infinity cycle, I do like. Now the price point is notable. You're talking about $60, maybe $65 on Amazon for the Olight, and you're talking closer to $40 for the Thrunite. So, I mean, it's a pretty significant savings to get the Thrunite. If money is a deal breaker for you, then definitely go for the Thrunite because you're getting very similar function, but you know you're saving $20-ish depending on where you pick it up. Again, if you have to have something that you click and it gives you the different outputs based on clicking the button or holding the button down, it cycles through really quick, as opposed to the infinity cycle, then you're gonna have to go with the baton. Jury's out for me as far as micro USB versus a proprietary charging cord with that magnetic base. I think actually micro USB is going to be my preference because I always have my charging cord with me in my bag. But the thing is, for me, sometimes I'm out, I don't have my bag with me. I'm in somebody else's car, and then I'm like, oh man, my flashlight's dead, I want to charge it up. USBs with a micro USB on one end, it's definitely much more common, obviously, than like finding an Olight specific charger. So that for me is that's where I'm inclined right now. Like I said, I'm not totally set one way or the other, but I think on that front, the Thrunite definitely wins just because those are easier to find around than obviously an Olight charger. The other thing always worth mentioning is customer service, and I'm pretty skeptical when it comes to sharing my experience with customer service with companies that I work with because they're going to usually deal with me differently than they do with the average customer. So let's hear in the comments from you guys if you work with Olight or Thrunite or both of them as far as customer service, what your experience has been. At the end of the day, for me right now, the S1R Baton II, I think is still the winner, but the T1 is still a great light, and I'll be using that more often. And we'll see a year from now how I feel about the T1, just want to get a little bit more familiarity with it. But for right now, I'm going to stick with the S1R Baton as my main, super compact EDC light. All right, guys, got some videos here for you to check out right in the middle. So thanks as always for checking out our videos on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids if you haven't done so already. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, check us out on Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.